My name is John Popplewell. I'm a resident of Essex, and I made my fortune there. In 1820, I sent £1,000 to a village in the north called Blackrod.
Boys and girls, my name is Mr. Sutcliffe, Mr. Henry Sutcliffe. You can call me sir, and I do not have time for wasting with snivelling urchins like you. However, I have money to be made, and if you can help me make that money, so much the better. But bear in mind, do not cross me, because if you cross me, you will be sorry. There are many boys and girls that have left my employ very, very sore that they crossed my word. Now this afternoon we are going to be working on the farm and we are going to be working in the mine, and you are going to be helping me to make money. And what you get out of it is your life if you are lucky. So listen very carefully and do not interrupt me.
I sent an endowment of £1,000. Of course, that money earned some interest, and I wanted the interest to go to charitable causes. I wanted some money to go to the poor of the parish, so they received £42 a year and some clothing. And finally, I was very keen that the children in the parish should be educated in the Christian tradition. So I left some of that money for those who were the best attenders at school. And I'm pleased to say that 200 years later, I understand that that money is still given to those children who attend Blackrod Parish School on a regular basis. I'd like to tell you about my friend Joshua Watson. Now, Mr. Watson was also a very wealthy friend who'd made his money in the wine business. And in 1811, Mr. Watson met with a couple of friends and the Archbishop of Canterbury. And his aim was to provide education for children in every parish in England. So, in conjunction with the Church of England, we started a fund to build a school in every parish.
Ernest. Good afternoon, Ernest. Alfred.
Good afternoon, Miss Banks.
Charles.
Good afternoon, Miss Banks.
Good afternoon, Charles. Samuel. No Samuel?
4 8s are 32, 5 8s are 40, 6 8s are 48, 7 8s are 56.
I'm delighted to say that 200 years later, after the National Society had been formed, we still educate a quarter of children in this country in Church of England primary schools. And that is the legacy of Joshua Watson from 200 years ago this year. And I've changed into Maurice Smith now, 200 years later, to bring you the news of how this legacy of Mr. Popplewell manifests itself in today's education system. Here we've been at Blackrod Church School and St. Catherine's Church in Blackrod, where children are educated in the Christian faith in a church school in this village in Bolton. A quarter of the children in this country are still educated in Church of England primary schools, and about 1 in 20 in Church of England high schools. And here in the Diocese of Manchester, we provide more church school places than anywhere else in England. We're very proud to maintain the Church of England tradition and contribution to England's education system. And we do believe that the Church still has a place in providing education free at the point of delivery to the children of this country.
Well, we've had a fantastic day today, working really hard with the children to try and help them to experience what life would have been like, not just not just 200 years ago, but specifically around in Blackrod. And the activities that we've done this afternoon have helped the children to understand what those pieces of work may well have been like for them. And then a little bit later on, we went into trying to give children a flavour of what a Victorian classroom would have felt like. And I think that they've all experienced something that was very different to the sorts of experiences that they have every day at the moment, which the children seem to respond very, very nicely to. They've had a lot of telling off, a lot of shouting at, a lot of being threatened, and I think it's really made them think a little bit that actually life isn't quite as bad now as they maybe once thought it could have been. And we finished the day with a trip up to church to help them to experience that church also in Blackrod 200 years ago was very, very important. And it's been a pleasure to be involved with the kind of with the planning of this kind of project, because education as we understand it today has an awful lot of a debt of gratitude to pay to the work of the National Society and the developing work of the church over the last 200 years to support education for every child in every family. And to be the head teacher of a church school means to me that we have an important legacy to continue with for the children and the families of the future, to ensure that they also are able to experience the opportunities and the potential that children for the last 200 years have been able to experience.